you're so used to having that monthly paycheck that once you quit your job, you start to freak out. That monthly paycheck is not going to come in next month. Why do we have that thought process? Why should we not be seeing any money? Why do we believe that? And it's like, all right, but can money come in different ways? There are people out there proving it. I was so stuck because I thought I was doing all of the right things, yet it never led me to where I wanted to be. And it's so frustrating, right? If you look at the people on social media that portraying the type of person you want to become, do they feel like they have everything they want and it's all just working out for them? And that's what you want. It's not that you necessarily want the money, is that you want to feel how they're feeling and you want to be able to do those things because you want to feel a certain way. If we're already starting to feel that way right now, is that not the ticket to actually then receiving it? Hey there, listener. Welcome back to another episode of the Stories to Remember podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in with me yet again today. And yeah, I want to take you on a little bit of a journey that I've been on for the last couple of days. Well, it's a journey I've been on for years, really. And it kind of shows that it's a consistent practice that we need to do and that it never really ends. So we have to make it a lifestyle as such. And I've been having a lot of conversations around this in the last couple of days, so it only felt fitting to also share some of the insights and some of the conversations I've been having with you so that you too can learn from them. Because, yeah, I think there's no better way for people to learn and to change their perspectives than by listening what others might think of it and have experienced with it. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So let's start with the conversations I've been having because they all have a red line that led me to thinking about this and making this episode today. And it's been around how much we're trying to control the outcome in life and how much it's actually making us feel really shitty. And it sounds weird, right? Because isn't that like, if we're saying that we're the creator of a life, shouldn't we try to control our outcome? Like that's then the whole point, right? But I think we're doing it all in the wrong way. And what I mean, and I'm not saying all, a big part of the humanity right now is doing it in the wrong way. So let me tell you my experience with it. So I've been someone who from a young age has always kind of believed in something bigger, that there was something else in the universe that could help me in certain elements. I then lost that throughout my teenage years because there was no one really informing that or replicating it. So it was kind of something like maybe it isn't then, and I should just leave this behind and move on. And then at the age of 20, 23, 24, I kind of got back into it or fell back into it because there was a moment where I realized that the things that I was doing always led to the same type of outcomes. And I was so done with that. I didn't want to do it anymore. Like I was so stuck because I thought I was doing all of the right things, yet it never led me to where I wanted to be. And it's so frustrating, right? So I broke down at some point, just completely not knowing how to move forward. What did I needed to do because I didn't understand it, doing all of the right things and still not seeing it, like how? So I then came across Gabby Bernstein, and Gabby Bernstein talks a lot around spirituality, believing that there is something bigger than yourself, leaning into your energy within your body and starting to trust yourself and finding the answers within you. And from Gabby Bernstein, I then started to go into Abraham Hicks, who talks a lot about manifesting. She's brilliant. I absolutely love listening to her. She makes me crack up every single time. So yeah, if you need some fun in your life, go have a listen at Abraham Hicks. And from Abraham Hicks, even though I kind of understood it, I, as a person, although I'm a star sign, of air. I'm a Libra, so it's very airy. I need grounding practices, and I'm quite analytical because I've been living so much in my male energy of doing. I needed something that was more tangible. So I fell into the lap of Dr. Joe Dispenza. And Dr. Joe Dispenza explains how manifesting works in a way that is research driven, in a way that we can control it ourselves without trying to control it. Now, I will not be able to explain it so well as that he does. So if you're interested in learning more about what I'm about to share, then definitely go look up Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has tons of videos on YouTube and books and websites. He's absolutely brilliant. And the reason why I'm saying he's been brilliant is he's been researching all of the events and the practices that they're doing. And he has medical people supporting him in his research, and they bring out papers. And just a couple of examples, like he makes people who are deaf hear again. He's able to make people who are blind see again. He's people who's been paralyzed for years are able to walk again. People with cancer who's been given up by the medical teams are able to heal. And it's not that he's been able to do that, but throughout his practices, these people have been able to do that. And what his practice is, in a nutshell, saying is we're all in control of how we're feeling, how we're thinking, and what we're believing in. Now, 95% of our thoughts today, we will think again tomorrow. And if your thoughts are negative thoughts, then you will feel, and your body will start to feel negative, and you will have the same thoughts again tomorrow, and you will have the same negative feelings. Now, what happens when you have negative feelings about something, when you feel like it's not going to work, or it's not meant for me, or I can never be able to pull this off, or I don't see any change happening, then we're automatically going to give up. And when you give up, it never really is going to happen, right? But also, if you might try to change your belief system, so you've become so aware that you realize, okay, these are the thoughts that I'm thinking, and this is kind of limiting me. So you try to change your thoughts through, for example, positive affirmations. That's great. But if your body is still not really believing it and feeling it, then it will still not change anything in your life. So we have to make our body believe the positivity so that it can then feel it. And when you feel it, you can make it your reality. So if we bring it back to the beginning of my story, where I have been having these conversations around, okay, we're trying to create a certain life for us. If we're trying to create that from a state where we're not really believing it yet, then we can do everything right in our life, and we can take the right actions in our, or at least the actions that we believe we need to be taking, but it still won't change anything because the belief is not there. And so therefore, in order for us to change that, we have to start leaning in to the belief. And for us to lean into the belief, we have to believe in something bigger. At least that's what I've experienced. So if we take the example of money, I was speaking to someone who's quit her job and started to, or decided she wants to change her life and step into the coaching and the freelancing and start her own business. And there's so many of you out there who want that and who are doing it right now. The first thing that starts to happen for most people who've been in a corporate job for a long time is that you're so used to having that monthly paycheck that once you quit your job, you start to freak out and you're like, that monthly paycheck is not going to come in next month. That's the belief you're already going to have, because new business, you need to build it up, which means I won't have any clients yet, and therefore I won't see any money. That's the whole thought process we're going through. Why do we have that thought process? Why should we not be seeing any money? Why do we believe that? It's because we've been looking at our outside environment and we've been listening to what people are saying, and they're saying starting a business means no money in the beginning, or no clients means no money. And it's like, all right, but can money come in different ways? Can it? There are people out there proving it. People within Dr. Joe Dispenza's research are proving that stuff can come in without them doing a damn thing. And it's like, oh, maybe they're just lucky, right? And this is something I've been really challenging myself on. It's like, oh, am I just doing everything wrong? Can it be the case that instead of us really trying to control things, can it be true that maybe without me trying to control it and me just leaning into it will all work out, I'm a lucky person, everything always works out for me, I'm abundant, and money always comes to me, it therefore just works out. And it's a funny thought to be having, right? Because it feels so weird. Like, how can it be that if we do nothing, that money can come to me? I'm not there yet. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not there to believe that if I don't do anything, that money can come to me. I don't know if I ever will believe it. Do I believe that trying to hustle my way through it and trying to control all of the right elements in order to get clients? No, I've stepped off that belief as well. I don't want to believe it. That's the honest truth. I want to believe I need to work hard. Sure, that I need to put in the work. But I do not want to believe that me draining myself and me struggling is the way to go about it. I don't believe that. And it has been proven. I went through something quite intense last year from a personal perspective where I was at a verge of, okay, how am I going to move forward? Because the only direction I kind of saw in the beginning was to go back to the comfortable and go back to the monthly paycheck of having like working for a company, right? Because that was the only belief I had at that point. And something in me said, no, that's not your path. That's not the direction you want to go in. So I found a way to start believing about the whole point that everything is just going to work out fine and you will see it. And it did. It worked out fine. Clients started to come in. And that was because I started to lean into the whole idea of, you know what? It's all going to work out fine. Money will come to me. I am doing the things I need to be doing, in my opinion, to get clients, which is mainly taking care of myself. If I take care of myself, if I feel my best, if I feel joy, if I feel like relaxed, if I feel that it's all going to be just fine, and therefore I'm able to lean back a little, I'm opening myself up to receiving. Because think about it. Think about the version that you want to be, right? So many want to have a 6-figure business. They want to have the clients, they want to have the monthly paycheck coming in. Think about that person for a second. How does that person feel? Is that person going to feel stressed? No, because they have the money, they have the clients coming in. It is all working out for them. So why would they feel stressed? Or is that person not taking care of themselves? They are. Why wouldn't they? They have the money to take care of themselves, to go on a holiday, to go to the hairdresser when they want to buy the clothes, to have like feel good and work out, get the personal trainer, whatever they need, right? They get that. If you look at the people on social media that portraying the type of person you want to become, how do they feel to you? Do they feel like they have everything they want and it's all just working out for them? Yes, that's how they come across. And that's what you want. It's not that you necessarily want the money, that you necessarily want the physical elements. Is that you want to feel how they're feeling and you want to be able to do those things because you want to feel a certain way. That's where it all comes back to. So if we're already starting to feel that way right now, is that not the ticket to actually then receiving it? It is. It is the ticket. That's the answer to all of your questions. If you're already stepping into that version of yourself who has it, who feels that way, and you truly, truly, truly believe it, that this is the way forward, then that's the way forward. And that's how powerful our energy is. And that's how important it is for you to also lean into that energy. And why I don't necessarily believe in just constantly sitting back and not doing anything for money to come in is like, I do think we need to give something in order to get it in return for us. I think that's kind of the law of physics as well. So I also want to give. If I'm in a really relaxed state where I'm loving and where I'm enjoying life and where I feel good, I want others to feel that way too. And so that automatically means I will be taking some type of action for it to happen. So the moral of today's story is that question everything that you're currently believing. Embody the future self, like really get clear on how that future self feels. And then every day start to reaffirm that feeling within your body. Meditate on it, journal about it, visualize it, like constantly just feel like you're already that person right now, not something in the future, not something that you're going towards to. No, you're that person right now, right here. That's the energy you're driving from. That's the moment everything start to feel aligned more. Energy will, about answers or ideas will come to you. And if you then take action on that, then it is automatically starting to flow and roll. And if you're truly believing in the fact that money will just come in and that you're a lucky person who is very abundant, where everything always works out, then it will work out. So please start practicing this, because it's where the biggest change within my life and my business is happening. And it's where so many others are starting to lean into, and that's why they're seeing success. It's not just about the actions you're taking. It's also very, very, very much about how much you're believing and how good you're feeling, so that you're in a receiving mode for things to come to you. Now, like I said, check out Dr. Joe Dispenza, check out his meditation, put those into practice. Check out Gabby Bernstein. She is another fan of mine who I really love, so give her a try. And if you have any questions, then of course you know where to find me. All right, thank you for tuning in. Speak to you later. Wrap up another episode on the Stories to Remember podcast. I want to thank you for being a part of our community. It's your support and engagement that keeps me going. I would also like to request a small favor. If you found value in this episode and enjoyed our podcast so far, I kindly ask you to subscribe. Your subscription not only means the world to me, but also helps me to expand the reach, connect with more incredible guests, and continue sharing inspiring stories. Furthermore, your engagement and feedback are invaluable to us, so please do share your thoughts on the podcast. For now, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and I can't wait to have you with us next time. See you then.